This video is for business leaders who want scientific methods to lead by example. Watch to the end for bonus material on how to use social proof to create a culture of mentorship, and the recommended video, which is a deeper dive into that specific lever of influence from Dr. Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, New and Expanded, or Revised and Expanded. I will put that in the as a card, but also in the description. So check it out there. So how do you feel about leading with authenticity? Authenticity is a big word nowadays, probably overused and abused. But how do you feel about that versus the fake authenticity we so often see online, especially if you go to a lot of networking events or events and people are over the top enthusiastic about anything you do, which is anything above incompetent, like knowing your own name. How you feel about that is entirely up to you. But as somebody who's a leader, which would you be more inclined to follow? Somebody who you honestly felt, genuinely thought they were being authentic versus fake authentic, and especially the over top style, but just like, yeah, you're all doing really great, keep it up. If it doesn't feel authentic, they are not going to feel it, and you shouldn't expect them to follow it. At least that's my position. Okay, so of that, who would you rather follow? Would you, and another question, which I think is even more important, the leader you are today and the way you show up for your employees, I don't mean for your C-suite, I don't mean for a specific group which is immediately below you as reports, but to your employees as a collective. If you were sitting in another seat watching you as a leader, would you follow yourself as you lead now? It's an interesting question. Please reflect on that. I hope you come up with some answers which are positive, but either way, it may be insightful for you. So secret number one, that we're going to go through here, 7 secrets of leading by example. And these are based on scientific research and common sense and good business practice in general. So secret number one is to recognize, and this is to publicly praise and reward others frequently. And again, this isn't just a high-level person in a small group. It could be literally saying, hey, everybody, okay, all 200 of you, come over here. I want you to see this, or listen up. So-and-so has done something really awesome. And doing it frequently. If this is a consistent thing rather than a once a year or once a month thing where one person gets like a, yay, that isn't authentic. But when you do this, it's critical, or to have the maximum effect, you want to do it randomly and unexpectedly. So it wasn't like 9 in the morning, you as a leader come out, Tim comes out, he says, good job, everybody, have a great day, and that's it. That becomes routine, and routine is boring and doesn't have emotional impact. If it's unexpected, like a surprise party, all the better. Since you're doing it frequently, they know it's coming sometime this week or this day. They just don't know when, and that anticipation can be exciting if said experience is positive and rewarding for everybody involved. Secret number 2 is to lead by inches, days, or hours. So essentially, this is by creating and then celebrating concrete and frequent steps along the path to a longer mission or outcome goal. You're celebrating these process goals and the milestones along the way. Now, this could also be done for your vision, but it's particularly well suited to the mission, the thing that groups or teams or the organization at large is doing, and that when steps along the path, steps up, transcending or ascending the staircase, that there's some sort of acknowledgement of those and some sort of celebration, even if it's just a high five or a great job, and you mean it and it's authentic. Secret number 3 is to, all of these are, remember, a leading by example model. So this is, in essence, social proof, as cited by Robert Cialdini's model of what that is, which is in situations where people aren't sure how to behave, they will tend to look to others to see what the appropriate behavior is, what the acceptable or desirable behavior is. You as the leader should be the number one person embodying and living and being that as much as possible. In fact, all of the time, as much as is humanly possible. So then things like celebrating in whatever small or meaningful or even sometimes a big way, but that's unexpected and infrequent, which gives it more emotional impact, that's going to make a difference. Secret number 3 is to practice courage in front of your reports by preloading your responses in advance. And what I mean by this is when a situation is challenging or unexpected, and the more authentically challenging and unexpected a situation is for you and your employees, your reports witness it, the more they will see it as a desirable behavior, because it's not a staged thing. It's not a seminar on how to behave. It is simply the way you are behaving in your daily course of your work, and they have the opportunity to witness it. That's a good thing. So by preloading, what I mean is that you do what Daniel Kahneman would call pre-mortem. That is anticipating not only the best outcomes and what it would look like and what steps may lead to that best outcome, but what is the worst possible outcome of something and what steps may lead to that. So what this allows you to do is to have proactive plans or preloaded plans so that you know how to respond if something terrible, unexpected, challenging, or scary should happen. And your employees seeing that you make these plans, witnessing that these are a part of how you do your business at your level, will show them how business is done here. This is a way of creating intentional culture rather than the default, which unfortunately tends to be rather law of the jungle. So essentially what it is this allows you to not only demonstrate bravery that you prepared for, but to do that in challenging and unexpected situations. It's essentially showing them how to be brave, showing them how to stay calm and stay composed and do something which, even if you have no idea, one of the best things you can show any group is that if you don't know the answer, you just say, I don't know, or I can find out. But rather than faking it, simply saying, demonstrating that I don't know or I don't understand is an acceptable behavior, that if you show it, they're more likely to show it. And that's a good way to surface deficiencies in training or just people who don't know things that need to, and that gap can be filled rather than hiding those things and essentially having secret incompetence and ignorance flourish in your organization, which is far too often the case. Secret number 4 is to lead them quickly towards clear insights that they can then discover for themselves. So you give them a path towards something. This could be on a project. This could be part of your daily routine, but you are also demonstrating the same thing. The path is there, but they're not being spoon-fed the discovery. They have the opportunity to see that you figure things out, and that's how they should do it too. When situations happen, when circumstances happen in projects, in that, though the path is generally laid out, you don't spoon feed them the answer, because that denies them the feeling and the pride of having figured it out for themselves and feeling accomplished. Secret number 5 is to create and frame meaningful goals that teams must struggle to accomplish. And this hooks back into the previous one, and that is, it's not guaranteed, but a team working together as a unit, as a cooperative group, can accomplish these goals. Now, if goals are too simple, if goals are too easy, then it becomes inauthentic and meaningless. Of course, you're always succeeding, but what does succeeding mean if succeeding means one push-up or a $1 sale? It means absolutely nothing. If it's not something that has a risk of being lost and value to be gained, there's going to be no pride in the accomplishment if it wasn't something meaningfully challenging. Secret number 6 is to begin days, weeks, or projects with synchronized activities. So synchronized activities can be anything that people do together at the same time. It's usually the same activity. This could be a chant, a cheer, any activity or sort of ritual that you do at the beginning of projects. Now, it's much more desirable if you have any and all, ideally all employees invested in the creation of that kind of activity, because then it's not going to be hokey crap. And if it feels like hokey crap, or people just feel like they're kind of doing whatever gestures or things you want them to do because they feel that they have to, then it's been unsuccessful, and you need to go back and find another kind of activity that's synchronizing or cooperative that they actually feel invested in doing, that it's something to get people excited about in a meaningful way for them, not for you. And secret number 7 is to respond to reports with lightning speed. Now, this means if the intern or the person who started yesterday in your organization and you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, they should have the ability to get in contact with you and to hear back from you, ideally within a day. And if you have the time right now, and if you say, oh, I'm too busy for that, that's kind of a problem, because think how meaningful it is when that happens. And if you only do that for one employee a day, say, my communication is always open. I will try to get back to you. I don't know when. Sometimes I can respond immediately. And by responding immediately, only some of the time, that's that intermittent reinforcement that happens like a slot machine. It's actually more reinforcing of desirable behavior, and they will feel important. I got a first message. I have been responding to Ray Dalio's LinkedIn messages and posts for years, and he responded to one. I was kind of thrilled. It's only happened once in 2 or 3 years. But the fact that I know that either his team or he himself, which would be far more meaningful, saw my question and actually responded to it, makes me much more excited about following and engaging in his content. And that would be the same is true for your organization. So only if you do it very infrequently for any one, you could certainly get a meaningful message back to one employee every single day. That could take you 30 seconds and make that employee far more loyal to you over the long run, or even for life as a result of that. You should make that actually one of your top priorities, because if people feel heard by you, the leader, it also shows all your managers, all your supervisors, that that's the way we do things around here. This is not just what you do, this is what other people see you do, and that will be the expectation, especially if you make that clear overtly, as well as demonstrating it. But demonstrating it is going to be far more powerful overall, so that the overt declaration that you expect others, especially your senior staff, to behave in the same way, it will be unambiguous what you mean. There will be no excuses, and it will make a fantastic intentional culture for your workplace. So the bonus content is very simple and very short. Take every opportunity to interact with and help the most junior employees to do their jobs better, especially when they are struggling. This is literally, you are walking to your office, you're on the 10th floor, they're on the 1st floor, and you see somebody struggling, and you spend 30 seconds to 5 minutes helping that employee. This goes along with that responding to reports. They will have a story. If you are in a significant company and you are a significant leader, the fact that you took the time to stop and help them, that everybody sees you helping them, again, is social proof of nobody is above or beyond helping the lowest employee. that it's everybody's responsibility to help anybody when they see something that they're struggling with will again really reinforce that idea that this is the way people like us in this company do things like this, to sort of quote Seth Godin's version of that. People like us do things like that. And finally is the recommended video, which is Crush It Club 52. It's an old video of mine, The 7 Levers of Influence, and it is specifically about, it's maybe not specific. It is about social proof. So that's a deeper dive into social proof from the book review I did a while ago. And my request for you today is please download. By the way, the link for the recommended video will be right there and in the description, and at the top of the description of this video, just below the title, will be a link to a downloadable called Positive Influence Primer. It's also based on the 7 levers of influence, because that's what I'm focusing on, where there's a lot of value, and it's all based on scientific research, which is what I do, or what I base all my principles on. And it will actually help you learn the 7 scientific methods of persuasion, or of persuading others positively. Now, they are not specifically positive or negative, but the intention is for them to be used positively, and I cover that in other videos as well. So that's it for Crush It Club 290, which was about the 7 secret methods for leading, or to leading by example. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.